If you or a family member are chewing up Tums, popping Pepcid and Zantac and using antacids and over-the-counter medications just to get through normal eating habits, you're playing with fire. I'm not telling you to throw all of them out immediately. I'm not telling you that the pain and the indigestion and acid reflux and GERD and bloating and gas is not real and it's not a real problem. But I'm going to show you some proven natural things you can be doing right here in this video that actually been shown in studies to work better than those. But first, let me wake you up to the fact of why those over-the-counters are so risky. Antacids such as Tums, let's just start there. My dad, I know, used to do like a lot of Alka-Seltzer. That's another common one. They're producing and introducing so much calcium into the system. When calcium builds up, it's like a deposit in your shower. You know the white stuff? That's what's happening inside of your system. There's a buildup of that calcium, and that can create a whole host of problems with your arteries, for one, but just nausea, vomiting, mental status changes. It also increases the risk of you having kidney stones. But the main problem that these Tums, this Alka-Seltzer, and these things of this nature introduce into your system is they are messing with your body's ability to produce its own acid. You see, these things reduce stomach acid. They're alkalizers, which makes the problem worse long-term, because if your body eats a steak or a burger, this is a protein that has to be broken down. It requires acid to do that. Well, if you eat the steak or the burger or the meat, and then you put in an antacid with it, you are literally blocking the body's ability to produce more acid. Just eating steak with potatoes minimizes the acid, because the potatoes actually need a more alkaline release inside of your digestive juices. So it's the pairing of foods that make it bad, but then we throw Tums on top of it. We are nullifying the acid in our stomach. Our body then has to create more. Then it starts to try to balance out again. The body has to create more. So you're getting more and more and more acid, which can give you even that kind of like, ooh, that burning feeling up here. You have asked it to crank up and counteract the antacid that you put in. That's why long-term these things are detrimental. It's making the problem worse over time as opposed to helping it. Now, two other types of popular over-the-counter or prescription antacids. One are the family of H2 receptor blockers. Now, all that means to you is Pepcid and Zantac. Now, these are oftentimes addressing ulcers or irritations inside of the gut, but it literally says right on their websites, they are not to be taken longer than a couple of weeks. And blocking that pattern and trying to help an ulcer, maybe for a couple of weeks, but a lot of people are on these things for years. Now they've been directly linked to dementia increase. And then its close relative, proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, this is going to be your Prilosec, are usually the ones that are recommended longer term. However, Prilosec taken longer term has been shown to increase the risk of developing chronic kidney disease by 1.28 times more than someone that doesn't take it, and the increase of renal failure almost 2 times greater just from long-term use of Prilosec. So, Tums, Alka-Seltzer, antacids, they're creating problems. H2 receptors are creating problems within a couple of weeks, and Prilosec taken long-term is going to put our kidneys at risk. So what do? 5 fantastic solutions that can replace your antacids. Here they are. Number 1 is mint tea. Mint is an herb that is beneficial at settling your stomach. It helps with stomach aches. It refreshes your mouth. Mint is a soother. Its benefits are settling your stomach, especially if it's achy or you have real sensitive gastric refluxes. Then using mint not only helps soothe down in the stomach, but it also helps soothe from the mouth all the way down the esophagus. So if you are getting that reflux that feels like it's coming up into your throat, that's where mint is going to be most beneficial. It's very easy to get into a tea. So just right after your dinner, especially if you are combining carbohydrates and proteins in your meal, when those two are combined, you're asking for digestive distress because your body is using 2 different types of juices to try to break those 2 completely different food types down. Now, if you eat a vegetable with your steak, then you won't get as much of that. But in case you are starchy and proteiny at the same time, try a glass or a cup of mint tea when you're done to help soothe. Number 2 is my favorite, and it's ginger tea. So you can have little packs of this in your cupboard, or you can literally shave it and make it yourself in a little steeper to make some teas. It's an anti-nausea tea. It's really good for that digestive kind of gurgling, upset stomach, indigestion. It's very good for pregnant mamas to block off nausea. I know my wife used it, but ginger tea is something great to be hanging around if you're just not feeling settled and comfortable and you're kind of paying the price for the meal that you had. Have that post-meal with some ginger tea. Now, to make this even easier, I put together a few recipes of my favorite ways to use ginger tea, and you can check that video out below, and another video that I made to check out how to make those recipes. Number 3, aloe vera. This one might be the most powerful. In the plant form or the gel form, there was a study done on aloe vera, running it up against omeprazole, an anti-ulcer medication. So the participants that were put into the study had GERD-like symptoms: heartburn, food regurgitation, flatulence, belching, dysphagia, nausea, vomiting even, acid regurgitation up into the throat. And those symptoms were assessed for 2 and for 4 weeks. And one was given the aloe vera mixture in water, the other were given omeprazole with water. And it was shown that the aloe vera reduced the frequency of all of the assessed symptoms with no adverse events better than the omeprazole. And there was no withdrawal symptoms. There was no, meaning they used it and they stopped using it and it fixed the problems. Aloe vera might just be the thing you need to add in for all the indigestion. Number 4, digestive enzymes. You need a different enzyme to break down each form of food. You need one for carbohydrates, you need one for protein, you need one for fat. So different digestive enzymes are going to help break your food down from your mouth all the way in. Now, foods like papaya and pineapple contain higher amounts of digestive enzymes, or you can take them in the food format. Putting those in before you eat or throughout the day a couple of times is going to start to replenish and repopulate the enzymes needed. So when the foods are introduced to your gut, your body has what it needs to start breaking them apart, so it doesn't take so much energy and so much indigestion to digest your food. And finally, too little bile or blocked bile. Your liver is making bile, your gallbladder is storing it, and a lot of Americans, because of the fattiness forming around their liver, because of overconsumption and too many carbohydrates, our liver is bogged down. We're not releasing the bile that we need, or it's slow to get out. We don't break down the fats inside of our small and large intestine. We have problems with our bowel movements. We have fatty bowel movements, and we're not absorbing our foods, but more importantly, we're not absorbing the fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin A, D, E, and K have to be absorbed with fat, which means fat has to be broken down for you to get those vitamins in, and shortages of those can start creating skin issues, can start creating blood vessel issues, can start creating blood flow issues, can start creating immune function issues, can start creating immune and toxicity issues just from not getting your fat-soluble vitamins. So we want to make sure we're breaking down fats, adding in bile salts, adding in ox bile can help stimulate that. And then, of course, decreasing the amount of inflammation inside of your gut is going to help repair your liver, to help you to quickly reduce that inflammation in the gut and reduce that inflammation in the liver. I made this video and this training right here, so you can check this one out as the next step for nurturing your entire digestive tract and systematically healing the entire thing, including your liver. Check it out.